sure if you ask the Gnar mains, all 5 of them, they'd say this is a bad idea. But they chose to play a ranged top laner, therefore their opinions are all invalid. Gnar is a transforming champion like Elise, Nidalee or Rek'Sai. However, unlike those 3, he has a Y chromosome, which makes him incapable of controlling his rage, and he will automatically transform whenever the meter is full. Because of this, the key to mastering Gnar is being able to master both forms. While as mini form, you need to be able to poke and harass your opponents in order to get them low. Then, when you go into mega form, you can finish them off by going for an all-in. If you don't poke them down successfully as mini Gnar, you won't be able to kill them as mega Gnar. And if you aren't able to use mega Gnar's sons to get the kill, then you might end off playing mages like Vel'Koz or Brand, who can do the same thing as mini Gnar, but better and more consistently. When it comes to building, you can go one of 3 ways. The first way is to go all around mini Gnar, then you do fuck all whenever you transform. The second is to build all around mega Gnar, and have no runes when you're mini. The third way is to build like a bruiser. For this reason, our main keystone is going to be Grasp. The healing keeps mini Gnar healthy because he doesn't have any inbuilt sustain. It also helps his harass feel stronger. As mega Gnar, the extra health then helps you tank better. And any stacks you gain as mega Gnar will give you the full 5 health bonus even when you transform back into mini Gnar. So you're able to get mini Gnar to be pretty healthy, especially when we get to our first item, Heartsteel. This is able to seriously step up your harass game, taking out huge chunks out of enemies whenever you get the proc off. It's also pretty common to get a proc of Heartsteel and Hyper at the same time, doing a huge surge of damage all of a sudden, which enemies don't expect, leaving them easy to follow up and get a kill. Main weakness of Heartsteel has always been that if you're a melee tank, you can't exactly go in and get procs very easily without having to commit hard to an engage. But ranged champions, those who squishy to ever really make use of the fact they can stack it easily. Gnar is able to get the best of both worlds, getting the easy stacking as a ranged champion, but also having the full all-in tank capabilities as Mega Gnar to make use of the bulk it provides. When it comes to users, there's 2 options. Either play the Steel Caps or Merc Treads. I prefer Merc Treads because there aren't many good MR options for Gnar, but there are plenty of great armor options. For armor, you have Bramble Vest and Thorn Mail, which gives you good resistances, and also Knight's Vow. The redirection effect on Knight's Vow will automatically generate rage whenever your ADC gets attacked. The added cooldown is also very nice because W has such a low cooldown that once you get a thing like Black Cleaver, you're able to just constantly stun enemies and disrupt them in teamfights. Added to how low the cooldown on Gnar is, when you have a single cooldown item like Black Cleaver or Knight's Vow, you're able to transform and just cast it every single time you've hit level 11. When it comes to Magic Resist, there's not really good item for Gnar. Wit's End is okay in mini form, and the Magic Resist is okay in mega form, but it never really feels all that great whenever you build it. Split Visage is bad because when Gnar transforms, he gains health rather than heals it. This on one hand means you don't have to worry about Grievous wounds preventing you from getting the large chunk of health when you transform, but also means that Split Visage won't actually increase the health you start out in mega form with. I've mentioned Black Cleaver once or twice, that's because it's always been one of the best items on Gnar. It has a built-in armor shred, which complements Gnar's high base damages to completely kill opponents. It also has built-in move speed whenever you land physical damage, which complements mini Gnar, as you're able to then kite people for the first few attacks, where you get the 3rd hit for the hyper proc to get even more move speed and chase them down or run away. When you finish the Runic Compass quest, you get a lot of upgrades. The first upgrade is Bloodsong. The Shinfrock is really nice because you don't really have much room for Triforce in this build, and the 10% damage increase against any enemy you hit is incredibly potent when combined with Mega Gnar's insane base damages. Added to that, there are Black Cleaver, and there are very few people that can actually stand a Mega Gnar engage by yourself without the rest of your team present. In a 5v5 team fight, it really helps. The second is Celestial Oppression. This gives you a nice amount of resistances for the first few seconds of fight, which is usually while you're in mini Gnar before you're transformed. This then allows you to prevent the situations where you're about 60% rage and not quite able to transform before suddenly getting bursted and dying without achieving anything. With this item, you're much more likely to then turn and get the ult off, which will easily turn a fight. Finally, Zack combines with Hyper to do insane amount of damage with an auto-Q-auto combo. If you think the game's going to be mostly sieging and poking, it's a much better item than Bloodsong when you're in mini form, because that only gives a 5% damage increase on ranged characters. But ultimately, I think Bloodsong ends up being stronger just because it makes the engage completely deadly, as opposed to mostly deadly. Level 1, we're going to take Q. This is his best for pushing the wave, although it should be noted that it will bounce back after the first enemy it hits, You can throw it backwards and move out of the way, and it will continue to go past every enemy. However, this takes so long to do, you're better off just going for auto attacks. At level 2, you want to take Hyper, his W. This gives you a 3-hit passive that guarantees move speed and does max health damage. We then proceed to max our Q before maxing W and E last. This is because, although E is important as an engage and disengage tool, if you don't play like a fucking idiot, you don't really need the disengage on your E, and instead want the damage from Q and W. Hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, check out this montage I made.
Destroy the child.
Boss, you killed a child.
There is only one thing worse than a rapist. Boom. A child.
We here at Team 4 Star do not condone child violence. We do, however, find it hilarious.
Okay.
So long, Bowser! I don't give a fuck if I go blind.
Get down, Mr. President!
you, homie.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
From out of nowhere! And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out!